All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So, no requests on this one. This one just popped up on my feed, and it is titled NBA All-Star Freeze-Out. Michael Jordan, 1985, the full story. This is from channel Old School B-Ball. Y'all know I'm a huge fan of this channel, and this is a story that I think needs to be touched on a little bit here. So, I mean, I know as much as probably the next person knows about it, but in a video like this at 10 minutes length, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of details in here I didn't know. But I mean, as far as I understand the situation, it was pretty simple as depicted in The Last Dance, and we all knew about this growing up as well. But basically, Jordan came in and drew so much attention. Like, everyone was freaking out about Michael Jordan. Like, you think like LeBron James got a lot of attention? I guess Jordan was even crazier in '84. So everyone's talking about Jordan, everyone loving Jordan, and everybody else kind of, there's like a little jealousy there, you know what I mean? So there was like a little silent agreement to basically, hey, let's take the attention off of Michael Jordan and back onto us for the All-Star game, and then we go back to business as usual. Did that happen? It sure looks like it. Do we have proof? I don't think anybody has proof, but I mean, it seemed pretty obvious that's what was going on during that time. But anyways, guys, if anything, it just served to make Michael Jordan just tougher, you know, more of a loner, and just destroy his enemies with no mercy for the rest of his career. Anyways, guys, let's get into this. I am gonna leave the original video down below in the description for you guys, like I always do, and you'll see a list of channel members. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you. I really do. I say let's get into this. Like the vid, hit that hype button if you could, and you got any left, I'd appreciate it. And let's go.
When you look at the 80s and I look at Jordan, like, it was like when he walked in, it was like, uh-oh.
Jordan, watch out!
Oh, wow. That's what everybody's been waiting on.
The freeze out was real, and tonight I'm going to prove it.
Let's do it.
He's really good. I like him. I would pay to see him play.
February 10th, 1985, shortly after midnight. A phone rings in a Chicago hotel room. On the other end is Charles Tucker, advisor to Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson. Hours earlier, Tucker had been overheard at the Indianapolis airport terminal speaking openly to a Detroit reporter his exact words. We were talking about how good they got Jordan, but I think some of them thought we overdid some. Now, past midnight, Tucker is calling back to clarify, to spin, to damage control. These guys weren't serious about doing anything to Jordan. They just meant they weren't going to go out of their way for him. They played him hard, and he didn't get off. This phone call, buried in a 1985 newspaper, forgotten for decades, is the smoking gun.
I never read that before, so it's all right there. And Isaiah Thomas being the point guard, starting point guard, I'm like 99% positive he was starting point guard that year for the All-Star game on Jordan's team. That would make sense. So basically, as a point guard, I'm not going to go out of my way to get you the ball, MJ. Yeesh.
People who covered this story never found this. I did. And it changed everything. To understand the freeze out, you first have to understand what Michael Jordan represented to the NBA's established stars.
By the way, when all this is going on, just think Caitlin Clark and what you've seen over the last couple of years. This level of jealousy really reminds me of what she's going through currently, because MJ already went through this.
This skinny kid from Wilmington, North Carolina had turned NBA veterans upside down during the 1984 Summer Olympics.
Sure did.
Bobby Knight, his Olympic coach, made a prediction that sounded insane at that time. This guy is going to be the greatest player that ever lived.
The best basketball player that I've ever seen play.
Jordan didn't wait to prove him right. In just his third
I would push back a little on that. The way I interpreted what Bobby Knight was saying, the full quote, was basically that right now Jordan is the best player I've ever seen. Or is it I've ever seen or I've ever coached? Hold up.
that I've ever seen play.
So the full quote is basically like, he does this, he does this, he does this, he does this. And because of that, that makes him the best player I've ever seen play. Like, to me, I mean, as crazy as a statement as this is, in 1984, to me, it felt like Bobby Knight was saying, he's already the best I've ever seen. Which is wild, but look how correct he ended up being.
Jordan didn't wait to prove him right. In just his third regular season game, he dropped 37 on Sidney Moncrief, the league's best perimeter defender. That is when Jordan knew he could match anybody. By February, the rookie was leading the league in scoring at 28.2 points per game. Bulls' home attendance had doubled. Road arenas were selling out just to see him. But here's the tension. Jordan played for a sub-500 team. He had won nothing. Yet he was already more in demand by fans, media, and corporate sponsors than Magic, Bird, Dr. J, Isaiah, Kareem, or Gerwin. Stars who had been battling
Mind you of Caitlin Clark a little bit?
for championships for 5 years. David Falk, Jordan's agent, saw what was coming. The potential for resentment is so high, a lot of stars are jealous of him. Players look and see that he gets more for a shoe deal than virtually anyone in the leagues gets in salary.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, jealousy, in my opinion, was the wrong way to go about this. Because if Jordan is bringing in this much attention to the league, then the league is going to make a buttload more money. And then guess what? Guess where that money is going to trickle down to? Everybody. You know what I mean? So, like, in the moment, I get it that they're jealous because they want it right now. But if you just chill and keep playing for a couple of years, like, your pay is going to increase significantly because of this guy. And I feel the same way about Caitlin Clark for the WNBA. Stop pushing so fast, ladies. Like, the money is starting to come in. You're almost a profitable league. Just chill. Just chill and then wait until you turn a profit, and then you ask for your money. Then you demand your money when there's actual money to distribute.
Jordan came to Indianapolis with wrong mindset. He wanted to fit in. He wanted the stars he'd admired his whole life to accept him. It was a privilege, Jordan said later. I went with the notion of trying to fit in. I didn't want to ruffle any feathers.
Yeah.
But then came the pre-game festivities and the dunk contest. Jordan showed up overdressed, full Nike gear, Air Jordan apparel, gold chains. His lawyers had asked him to wear the Nike warm-ups. It was in his contract, but he didn't realize how it would look to veterans who had earned their stripes over years of playoff wars.
Yeah, it didn't look that great, and I'm going to be honest, even though I think it's cool as hell looking back, he probably shouldn't have been wearing the necklaces and stuff too. You know, it might have been a little... He's showing off his money a little too much, young MJ.
Wars. The consensus among the old guard. This rookie was trying to show up the real stars of the NBA. So a plan was hatched the night before the All-Star game. They would keep the ball from Jordan. Isaiah Thomas would play the biggest role. He was the East's starting point guard.
There it is.
He controlled who touched the ball.
There it is.
But he wasn't alone. Magic Johnson and George Gervin were reportedly the main conspirators. Gervin was from Detroit, Magic from Lansing, Michigan. They'd known each other for years, and Isaiah played for Pistons. All three were tight. Jordan, 21 years old, had no idea what was coming. In 22 minutes of playing time, Michael Jordan attempted just 9 shots out of 120 total East field goal attempts.
Wow.
9. Not a single East starter took fewer than 10 shots. 2 reserves had 10 or more. The league's leading scorer, the player fans had come to see, was frozen out. Jordan finished with 7 points and 6 rebounds. You could dismiss it as a rookie jitters. That is exactly what Isaiah wanted you to think. The day after the game, Isaiah told the press, "That never happened. I was very upset when I read that. It just isn't true." The same day, Jordan...
I mean, liars lie, man. And Isaiah, we know you lie a lot, so it's hard to believe anything coming out of your mouth. We got to verify it elsewhere.
Played along. I don't think it was happening. In an all-star game, you have to be very aggressive. This being my first, I was very tentative. I didn't want to be perceived as a rookie going out to steal the show. They both knew exactly what happened, but neither was ready to go at war, not yet. But Jordan He never forgot.
Yeah, wait
and
for the
what
playoffs.
he did next is why we're still talking about this 40 years later. Here's where most freeze out stories end. He said, she said, nobody knows for sure. But I found the proof in a 1985 newspaper that almost nobody talks about. Charles Tucker, the man who advised both Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson, was caught at the Indianapolis airport terminal speaking openly to a Detroit reporter. According to the source, we were talking about how good they got Jordan, but I think some of them thought we overdid it some. Let that sink in. How good they got Jordan. We overdid it. This wasn't a rumor. This was an admission from their own inner circle. Then came the midnight phone call. Tucker, realizing he'd said too much, called a Detroit writer to spin the story. The guys weren't serious about doing anything to Jordan. They just meant they weren't going to go out of their way for him. They played him hard and he didn't get off. They might have felt he was being a little cocky. The damage control confirms the crime. The freeze out was real and they knew it looked bad. 2 years later in 1987,
man, this great job on this video.
Jordan finally stopped protecting the old guard, asked about the freeze out, and he said, "That was the most hurting thing in my whole career. I didn't see any reason to be cocky because there was nothing to be cocky about. My lawyer asked me to wear Nike warm-ups during the dunk contest. I thought it was a normal procedure. It was my first All-Star game and I didn't know what was going on. Going back and looking at it, I wouldn't have done it had I known it would cause so much trouble." A 21-year-old kid humiliated on national television.
So here he is a couple of years later, and he's still taking accountability for it, saying, I understand it looked bad. I was in my contract to do this. And if I could go back, I wouldn't have done it. I would have said no, but I was young and I was immature and I didn't know. I was doing what I was told. But if I could, I would change it. I would go back. He's not pointing the fingers he's not pointing his finger at everybody else. I'm actually kind of shocked because in this situation, he had every right to.
Because he wore the wrong clothes. Jordan didn't say a word to Isaiah about the freeze out. He didn't need to. He marked the calendar for the next Pistons versus Bulls game at the Chicago Stadium. 49 points. Crazy
Holy
moves.
crap, look at this
One
guy.
play in particular.
Oh my God. Talk about a charging bull. Look at this.
Stadium.
How terrifying does this have to be? Like, what the hell are you supposed to do?
9 points.
Bang, bang,
Crazy
bang, bang.
moves. One play in particular, Jordan blew past Isaiah like he was standing still, rose up for a tomahawk jam that made the rim sound like an explosion. The replay showed him walking on the air,
takeoff.
terrorizing the Pistons defense.
He was an actual freaking jet.
That's how Jordan responded, not with words, with dominance. 7 years later, the Dream Team was being assembled, the greatest collection of basketball talent ever put on one roster. Isaiah Thomas, a two-time NBA.
Yo, I had this Beckett. I might still have it somewhere in a box. I had this Beckett. I also had this image, or very similar image to this, on a newspaper. I was obsessed with the Dream Team in '92.
Collection of basketball talent ever put on one roster. Isaiah Thomas, a two-time NBA champion and 12-time All-Star, was conspicuously absent. Word got out that Jordan told several people he would not play on any team that included Isaiah Thomas. Freeze out number 2.
I mean, sorry for if I'm going to be blunt about this, but it's not my words. I'm pretty damn sure Magic was pissed at Isaiah because when Magic got contracted HIV, Isaiah was insisting to the public that it's because he was having gay sex, right? Because that was the narrative back in the early 90s, was that it was contracted only through gay sex. Like, for those of you who are old enough know what I'm talking about. The younger ones probably think I'm crazy, but that's really what the narrative was back then. So that's why Magic, I believe, was pissed off at Isaiah, because it was like, dude, we're supposed to be best friends, and then you do this, like you say this to the public, like what the fuck is that? So Isaiah pissed off MJ, obviously. He pissed off Magic, pissed off Bird with the racism stuff. Pippen hated him. Like, come on, man. Nobody on the team. The better question is, instead of who didn't want Isaiah on the team, the real question would be who wanted Isaiah on the team. Maybe Karl Malone.
Jordan was the one doing the freezing.
Did you want him on the team?
Well, I can't speak for Michael, but I don't think he wanted him on the team.
I don't mind Michael Jordan saying, I didn't want Isaiah to be on the dream team. I don't mind, if Larry Bird said, I don't want Isaiah to be on the dream team. But if Scottie Pippen say, I don't want Isaiah to be on the dream team, man, come on.
The same Scottie Pippen nowadays that you're propping up like he was the greatest, just to diminish Michael Jordan's legacy. Now you prop him up to the moon. But when it goes against you, man, Scottie Pippen ain't shit. Two-faced mofo.
Say nothing.
I got a
2009, Jordan's Hall of Fame induction, the night he was supposed to be gracious, to thank his peers, to take the high road. Instead, he looked directly at Isaiah Thomas, George Gervin, and Magic Johnson in the audience and talked about the freeze out. 24 years later, he is still remembered, he still cared.
And I'm going to thank a couple people that you guys probably wouldn't even think that I would thank. Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson, George Gervin. Now, they say it was a so-called freeze-out in my rookie season. I wouldn't have never guessed. You guys never froze me out because I was just happy to be there, no matter how you look at it. I wanted to prove to you, Magic, Larry, George, everybody, that I deserve to be on this level as much as anybody else. So you guys, I must say thank you very much for giving me that motivation that I desperately needed.
Yeah. There it is. There it is. You see, he took the high road his whole career and just did all of his speaking on the court until this moment. The Hall of Fame speech was his chance to say, F it, I'm going to unleash.
Reporters asked Isaiah about the freeze out at every All-Star weekend, and he always tried to dismiss it. You're talking about Julius Erving, Larry Bird, Moses Malone, and myself all getting in a huddle someplace and saying, hey, let's not give this guy the ball. That is absurd.
No, not really.
Charles Tucker's confession tells a different story. Then, in 2003, something nobody expected, Jordan and Isaiah, the greatest rivals, became player and the coach at the All-Star game.
I know, that's the craziest thing. The craziest thing. I hope you got the press conferences too, the couple of clips.
Isaiah reflected, when you look back, probably the things that kept us apart are the things that we were very similar at. The competitiveness, the willingness to win, we were very similar people. Jordan said, we have come complete circle from that first All-Star game. I like to leave the game with a certain respect and a certain friendship that no one can say got off to a bad start. I have high respect for Isaiah Thomas. Freeze out 1 in 85, freeze out 2 in 92. And then respect. The slack doesn't have to be forever, but the truth is forever. The freeze out happened. Now you know exactly how.
Wow.
That is the real story. If this changed how you see the Jordan-Isaiah rivalry, subscribe. I've got more where this came from.
Dude, fantastic coverage of that story. I absolutely loved it. I'm a little blown away. So it's interesting how many chapters these two had, because I mean, in a way, inadvertently, Jordan got the first laugh because Isaiah Thomas is a Chicago hometown hero, right? But he gets sent over to Detroit. Here comes Jordan, and he is like the god or whatever of Chicago. Everyone in Chicago talking about MJ is the biggest deal. Everyone loves him, always will. To this day, still love MJ out in Chicago. I feel confidently to speak for you guys because I've talked to you guys, and I know, and I don't blame you. So that's chapter 1. Chapter 2, Isaiah gets a laugh. Freeze out. Chapter 3 would be all the playoff rivalries, and Isaiah's getting the first laugh, MJ's getting the last laugh. Then the Olympic freeze out, MJ's getting that laugh. And I don't even know. It seemed like it kind of died out for a long time until the last dance, and that stirred up some feathers because of what MJ said, to saying I don't give a damn what he says, it's going to be a lie anyways. But you know what? MJ was right. Isaiah is the pathological liar, and he probably understood this because, like, Isaiah's mad at MJ because they used to be, like, close, like family friends in the beginning, in the early, in the mid 80s. And MJ at a certain point made a decision. I don't like this dude. I don't trust this dude. I don't want to be around this guy. And he ditched Isaiah. It is what it is. Isaiah's sad. Isaiah doesn't like that. To be fair, Magic ditched him too. They were best friends, and then Magic ditched him too. So I'm seeing something common here. While Jordan and Magic are sitting around having a good old time, they've been friends this whole time. Isaiah was on the sideline going, I lost all my friends. I wonder why, Isaiah. I wonder why. You might want to look in the mirror instead of blaming the people that you lost. Ask why I lost them. What did I do to lose them? Anyways, little advice for anybody in a situation like this. If people keep ditching you, there's probably something wrong. Like, you're probably doing something wrong. Now, if you're ditching everybody else and you're deciding, yeah, I don't want this person in my life, that's fine. But if they're all ditching you and cutting you off, something's up, man. You got to take some time and do some reflection. But Isaiah will never do that. Anyways, I'm out of here. Fantastic video by Old School B-Ball. Link is down below to check out the original video and check out his channel. Highly recommend going over there. I'm out of here for now. Like the vid if you could. Hit that hype button if you could. Subscribe, all that good stuff. And most importantly is to be water, my friends.